I thought I was done with this thing, but I totally forgot. I forgot to add a sway bar. So we're gonna build the sway bar bracket, and then we are gonna finish welding all this bad boy and paint it. So let's get to it. I'm not gonna bore you with the welding pieces, but I'll bring you back once it's welded. Once it's welded, we'll have to figure out the sway bar location. And I'm gonna have a shorter shocks because on a 2014 Mustang, shocks kind of go from a diff all the way up to the body, which is kind of too tall. So I need something shorter. So like about 14 inches. Let's get to the welding. Alright, I welded a few things. I got the upper piece welded, grinded all the plates, and I got a pan bar kind of braced up, but I made a mistake because premature welding. I totally forgot I made brackets for a sway bar and they have to go in this position, but it shouldn't be much of a big deal. I still need to cut this. I was still gonna brace it up, but I'm just gonna have to cut it, make sure this piece goes like that because the sway bar links are gonna be in this bad boy, so that's how it's gonna sit. And they actually work out perfectly because they fit same spot on both sides, so that's how it's gonna be on the other side. So let me get this thing going. This may look like a lot going on, but sway bar brackets have been done. However, I'm gonna have to reinforce this one. I'm gonna have a plate kind of on a V shape, and I will have one like kind of going this way so it doesn't like flex or pull down on it, because that's a lot of pull tension. And here is the pan bar. As you can see, the pan bar is pretty straight. I'm using a drill bit on that side because my bolt is in my other house, so this is actually sitting. That one is not in because that thing is hot and I do not want to melt the bushings. This one is hot too, so I will take this guy out as well. Let this thing hang down, let it cool down. Yeah, so next thing for me is I'm gonna take the diff out so I can finally box this up. I have all the plates made. I might have to add a little bit more reinforcement here as well on this side. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring you back once I weld everything up so we can prep for paint. Alright, these have been welded, boxed up, pretty much secured. So next thing what I did is I made a temple where the top of the strut shock is gonna mount. So now I gotta replicate my bracket, and these are the original ones, but they're not gonna work because they're gonna be modified, because I need them to be able to slide right underneath the wheel wells, and I only have about an inch to play because the Mustang, they kind of go inside, but they're gonna be in this spot right now, so they'll slide right through here, and I only need 43 inches. So I decided to actually reuse the shocks of rear diff. However, I mounted them onto the jig that I used to mock up the pan bar, the springs and everything else, and this is where they are actually coming up. However, there is going to be a little bit issue. I thought these things are going to protrude into a trunk, but actually I'm lucky because they are going to be sliding in right through there. So I'll have a bunch of space where this rail is, so that's going to give me enough space to go up there like 16 inches, which I don't need much. I just need about 4 inches. However, they are a little bit close to the body. They won't be able to slide up next to the body unless I move the shock out 3/4 of an inch. And I already verified that bad boy on my Mustang. This is where they actually stand like this, so I can definitely move them in like 3/4 of an inch and still have a clearance on the wheel. So with that being said, so I'm gonna move these bad boys 3/4 inch. This one over and that one over to the right. I welded it. This is where it's fitting, and it's 2 inches directly from a rail, 2 inches directly from that other rail, so that means my back is 100% square. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it out. I'm gonna cut up the brackets that actually go here to hold the shock. So these are gonna be my reinforcement plates. So this is gonna be here just because I don't have much beef. I only have like 10 gauge here, so I don't want that thing to flex. I just want to box it in. That's why I left it like that. So once I box it in like that, I should be able to build my bracket right there. And this is going to be tack welded around, so it's going to be like a super solid rear end that can hold a shock, because the spring is going to do most of the carrying. So I'm going to build a bracket right here and right here. Once that's built, I'll bring you guys back in. I'm gonna have to move my diff back in underneath to make sure that 100% verify that shock can clear up and down. So it's a lot of in and out, which I don't show in the video, but it's labor intensive. So let's get to putting the diff back, and I'll double verify this and build the brackets. It's like 95 in here. If I open the door, it's even hotter. But anyways, I built a shock mount holders. Now I've made another jig that holds it off of the frame, because this is where I want it, in this position. So now I'm going to remove the bottom jig, get rid of all this mess, so that way I can build my brackets and make sure it's well secured, so I can build off my walls and so on. But the spacing from here to there is what I need it to be, and it's gonna fit very well. So next thing is I'm gonna get the diff underneath here and see where we stand. I have it mounted. I just want to show you this. This is what I'm talking about. This is how shock is gonna stay. Pretty much, see, it's flat with that thing. It's thick as a shock, and I can still add a wall over here, won't affect anything, and 2 walls on this side. And here is a super wide tire that actually is not even stock. I believe it's like 11 inches wide, the wheel, but look, I still have about ½ an inch of a clearance, and as well up here if the tire decides to travel up there. Considering these are pretty much the size of we'll be running, maybe a square setup, these are not that wide compared to these. But so next thing I'm going to bring you back is once I'm done with the bracket, because there's no point of boring you cutting, because I'm going to be cutting this plate and it's gonna be pain in the, you know what? So cut it on the sun, get some tan, and build it off and show you when it's finally done. Alright, this is what I came up with. I think I cut up a plate before, which was short, and to reinforce the frame, and now I cut it a little bit longer so I can build my bracket off of it, and this is where this shock is gonna sit in here. So it'll be like right in there. Can't do this one-handed. And then I have this plate. This plate will close the back, and then I'll have another plate that goes from here down here onto that area, so it'll be more like boxed in. But that's all the space that the shock needs. And I will have double welds here and double welds on the bottom just because it's a shock holder. And then I extended this plate on here so that way it kind of has some more solid area to get to it than just this plate. So I will weld this on the bench because it's easier, because I want to put more strong welds than welding vertically. And then I'll bring you back once I install both of them and remove the jig. So I'm gonna have to cut out the jig and carry it on the table over there, but I'm gonna finish the other side first. All right, here we go. This is the left side, passenger, and this is the driver. It's probably overkill for what it's gonna be used for, but it is what it is. Alright, here's a quick view of my mount. My shock mount, it's pretty solid, it's been welded very well. This piece has been extended down so it catches the pen bar holder, the frame, and then it stays up here. It's also been tapped so you can tack it into the frame. It's pretty solid, it's not gonna go anywhere. It's probably overkill for what it's doing, but it is what it is. I think I'm gonna end this video here because I'm pretty sure it went pretty long already, because this was gonna be an afterwards. We were just gonna finish it, prep it, paint it, but that's gonna be yet on another video. But this is where we at. The shock mounts are completed, still hot off the press, and this is how they're gonna stay. That gives me, actually from here to here, gives me 3/8 of a clearance for the body to kind of slide right through here. If it's an issue, we can just, you know, massage the body a little bit in. It's no big deal, but I'm loving the way this thing looks. I don't have a disc on there, so I kind of give it a little spacing, but yeah, we have a lot of space for this big meat. So we're gonna definitely run these. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fast car. And I can, pretty sure you can hold 700-800 horsepower, maybe that's the plan, but we'll see. But yeah, for sure on the next video we're gonna be finishing it up, painting it and sliding it underneath this bad boy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and see you next time.